Hey guys. So I just wanted to share some things with you. It seems like every time I make a video, which has been like 4 times, I have some kind of it's on the night that I have some kind of ailment. So tonight's no different. But excuse my sniffliness. Um, I was cleaning tonight and I started hearing I was just going through things on YouTube, and I started hearing certain people's testimonies, and I'll get to why that's later, or that's significant later. But um I felt like I needed to, and it was, it's always good to hear those commonalities and the ways that not only you but other people struggle too. So, I love hearing people. I love hearing their stories and the ways, the things they've been through, because it can really, it always teaches me something. I always find some point of reference there, and sometimes if you can avoid certain pitfalls because someone else already, went through them, then that's good. So anyway, I so it's a heavy topic. It's not anything I can think of a way to segue into. And my heart is actually beating fast, even remembering this stuff. But it is about suicide, um, and I just wanted to share, and I never have really shared this with um, many people. I could count on one hand, and probably will never get through it without crying. That would be a miracle in and of itself. But and I never have yet, so we'll see. But I feel it's so important because it makes me so sad that there are people out there that feel their life is not worth being here anymore, and that they have nothing to contribute. And I'm going to try to tell you why that is not the truth, and try to give you some reasons that are not based on feeling, emotion, and what you're going through right now, to make a decision that forever, ever, it would rob the whole world of the person that is you and the gifts that you have, and would rob you too, probably. So I can just tell you my story, and my story is to, I'm going to skip right to the, past all the years, and just skip right to the point that I was at when, when people say I tried to commit suicide, I never really took ownership of that because I didn't make a conscious decision to try to commit suicide. What I did was leave it in God's hands, and that is the same thing, really. But you can't kind of play that game. But I did. I left it in God's hands, and I had come to a very bad place in my life. The walls were just, there was nowhere to run. There was any other time before I had found a way to run, whether it be through just every avenue you can think of. I used those as outs and ways to run. So at this point, I had been so cornered that there was no more running. There, it was real. It had to be dealt with, and there was no escaping that. So I had just really, at this point, felt like disgusted with myself, that my loved ones had only been hurt by me, and it would be better for them if I was not there to burden them. It wasn't a thing of I couldn't take any more pain, because I somehow knew it would get better, but I didn't want to be a a burden to those that I loved, and I felt almost cursed, like anyone who was around me would be, I would bring bad to them. So with all those factors combined, and some painful things that I hadn't dealt with and didn't know how to even begin dealing with, I took every single pill in the house, and I had many prescriptions, um, because I was just a total and complete mess. And I I have a list actually of these pills, and I was thinking of showing it, but it was a doctor's list, of all the pills that I had taken, and the the sheer quantity of this, it just has to be a miracle that I'm alive. I mean, and so anyway, I just took every single thing I could find, and I went over to my friend's house, and because I didn't want to be alone, even after that, I didn't want to be alone, and I started, the effects of the drugs were starting to um, take over. And so she was like, "What's wrong with you?" And what's going on? And I I could not even stand up. I was crawling on the floor. I couldn't stand. So I had taken a sweater over to her house, and I think maybe we were going to go out or something, but since I was so, I don't know my plan here was not thinking straight, obviously, but since I was so, out of it, I couldn't go anywhere. So I went home, excuse me, and I, I went home, I crawled home, and that's the truth. I crawled home, and I got my little blanket that I've had since I was a baby, and I crawled into my bed, and I lay there with my blanket, and I said, "God, if you want me here, then you have to show me that. But if not, if you want me to live, then let me live. But if not, please take me to be with you. I've, loved you since I was little, and I just want to be with you. And if you have a purpose for my life, let me live." And I started losing consciousness after that. And the next thing I knew, I could feel myself falling and falling and falling. And I tried to grasp and reach out and hold on to anything, but nothing was there. Nothing. It's like falling off the edge of a cliff, or, how you would be grasping, but you know that nothing would be there to save you without some miracle. And I saw light, and it was very dark, and I saw that I was falling towards light. I was going very fast towards light, and I started to smell this smell that I had never ever smelled here on earth ever. Well, I wasn't, I was on earth, but I had never smelled it before in my life, nor since. And I knew, without ever having smelled it, I knew what it was, and it was sulfur. And I could feel something that I never felt in my life, which was God crying, God, God's fear. And I didn't know that God could feel fear. I didn't know that. But the one thing I think God's one weakness is, and the one thing that can scare him, is to lose one of his children, any one of them. And so I knew I was going to hell. I knew that the place that I was heading towards by the smell, by the light, by the despair, and by what he felt. I knew I was I was dying and I was going to hell. And as fast as I was falling, I all of a sudden felt something jerk me up, pull me up very, very fast. And I don't even know how I can describe it, except to say, of course, that I believe that that was God. And I I was I was in my bed, and that is the last thing that I could remember. And this is the crazy part. I woke up to police and paramedics putting me on a stretcher. The sweater that I had taken in my friend's house, I left at her house, and she came over to return the sweater, and she saved my life. She found me there, and she called 911, and she saved my life. And you know, I I could see all this stuff happening, and I was in and out of consciousness, but when I was awake, I do remember. I remember being wheeled in through the hospital, and I remember one of the doctors saying, "I don't think she's going to make it. I don't think she's going to make it." And to be okay with that and to accept that that's it, and that's what your whole life comes down to. It's sad. And I'll tell you that I'll never, ever, ever do this again, ever, because I needed to know that God loved me and that my life had value. And I should have known that before. But the devil can make you believe certain things if he can get into your head. And I'm here to tell you that I don't care who you are, your life matters. And I don't care what anyone's ever said to you, your life matters. And no matter the despair you feel now, or you might feel at some point, your happiness can be that and so, so, so much more. I don't feel that way anymore. I never have even come close to feeling that way again. I'm happy. I'm a happy person. I have struggles. I have imperfections. I have, the same problems as anyone else. I face things that are not fun, but I have a good life. I can't, things come and go. My life cannot be determined by the circumstances in it. And I just urge you to know the same way that he felt about me is how he feels about you too. And there are many things that lead someone to that point, and I can't even imagine all of them. But I know that I have been through some that you have been through, some that maybe you haven't been through. And then there's some I haven't been through too. But pain is pain, and you know, and we're all so valuable, so important to him. And if you could only just know that right now and how much better it is later, you would hold on and you'd be so glad you did. And I just I don't know, I just felt like I should share that, and felt like someone out there needed to know that and needed to hear that. And that worthless feeling, it goes, and it's the thing is the devil would not, and the devil is real. And I have that thing where everybody, they're a little bit maybe skeptical of these kind of things. And, I believe in this stuff. I do. But, there's some that are way out there. But, for me, I lived it. So I know it's true. But the devil wants to diminish you. He wants to belittle you and make you small and insignificant, and to believe all kinds of lies. My family wouldn't have been better without me. They would have been hurt without me. They would have, I had children. They would have been scarred forever over that. And they do need me. Everyone needs their parent. If they're a kind and decent parent, and if you're in a situation where maybe you don't have a great parent, the things that are said to you are not what matter. What matters is who you are, and whose you are. And the devil would not be so. You do have power. You have a purpose in this world. And if not, the devil would not try to make you take your own life. If he's after you, if he's on you, then you just know that you have an important purpose here. And he wants to derail that by getting rid of you. And so it would hurt not only you, but those you love too. It would take not only your life, but it would take the people that you could be helping too, and your loved ones too. And don't you dare for a second believe that anything anyone's ever told you, that you're beautiful. I can guarantee it. And you know why? Is because God, everything he makes is beautiful. So if you have low self-esteem, if you've been taught lies, if you've been sexually abused, if you've been abused, if you abuse yourself, if you have been a part of something you feel you can't be forgiven for, if you do drugs, if you anything that you feel that you can't escape, nope, it's not true. You haven't done anything that can't be undone. And you'll be surprised how much better and how you'll look at yourself in the end. But one thing I did have to do is I had to, my nose is itching so bad. Sorry. One thing I did have to do though is I had to, start living my life the way I was supposed to live it. And not living my life had gotten me to that point. And so I had to change that because, you can't really be happy living a bad life if you know that you're supposed to be doing something different. So just I put some things here that I want to read to you. Yeah, one thing I wanted to say is, and this is a Bible verse, you're bought with a price. You are bought with a price. Your life is not your own. Your life isn't yours to take. You were bought with a very special price. A very high price was paid so that you could live and have freedom and have love and happiness and the good and the bad, and if such a price was paid, you must be very, very, very valuable. And as I said, in the in the middle of this, I could feel, I always thought of God as this man in the sky with a stick ready to beat me over the head if I was somebody to be afraid of. And it's not that way. To feel that he could feel fear was, yeah, I never knew that. And all my whole life that he could, that he had any sort of weakness at all. And that, I believe, is his one weakness, is to think of his children being separated from him. Imagine how you would feel, if you had a loved one separated from you forever, and the fear that that strikes in your heart right now. That's how he feels. So that in and of itself shows that you are so very special. And I don't know what you're going through, but I can just share this with you and share my story with you. I feel like someone needs to hear that, this is just a time that it's your bad time. If you're here and you're going through that, and nothing is forever. It's not. And if you can overcome this, if you can get through it, I promise you life can get better. And you'll never ever, you'll be so glad that this is not something that you tried to do, or for God's sake, anyone succeeding in doing it. Uh I've never gone back to that. I've never felt such despair again. And I have realized that, the way that I was being tricked and being told kind of wrong things in my soul and in my spirit. And so you have to, the way to combat that, I feel like, is, on our own, we really can't fight um, depression and things like that. We have to have some kind of backup behind us. And so don't just try to, don't suffer in silence. You need to talk to other people. You need to reach out. And if no one else is there and no one will listen, you always have God, and he is the most powerful one to help you. Definitely. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that it was on my heart to say it. It makes me just so sad to think that there are people that think of this and think so little of themselves. And I can promise you, I just can promise you, if you were from the outside looking in, you would see that you're very important. And it doesn't matter the things people say. It does not matter the things you've done. You can start this day forward and you can begin again. And so I just want to end by saying I would like to say a prayer with you, because I feel led to do that. So just, if you've never prayed before, it's not weird. It's just talking. And if you're not religious and this seems crazy to you, well, you know what? Killing yourself's kind of a weird idea too. So give this a shot. It's better. It's a better option. And I can assure you, I mean, I'm a reasonable, logical person, but some things defy logic, and this is just one of them. We're not going to understand every single thing that happens in this world. And there are things that take place that we can't explain. And the only explanation I have for this is that it was God. And with all those pills, with the coincidence of the sweater, with, just all of it, a policeman that was there, one of the workers that was there was actually someone I already knew. And so just, way too many crazy things about it. I should be dead. I should be dead. And I also want to say too, though, that the fear and utter despair, you if you think that there's despair in wanting to commit suicide, you have no idea when you think that you're going to be going to hell. There's no hope ever. On here we have hope of, rescue or life getting better. But I will tell you, there are things in this that I had never experienced in my life, and the fear was and despair was the main one. So, anyway, I hope that that was for someone, and I hope that you you just start this journey, start again, and remember that that you're just so important. I don't know what else to say than that. The whole world does lose someone when they lose someone, and God loses someone. Maybe I'm not going to go into do you go to heaven, do you go to hell. I have no idea. I have no idea. And I don't think anyone is qualified to say other than God himself, because he is the one that allows whatever happened, in that category to happen. Although you make the decision yourself, and one of the ways to make the decision of where you want to go is to trust him and to believe him. And so, I just want to pray with you guys right now. And Father, please be with anybody who may need to hear this tonight. God, you have so many wonderful, beautiful things for all these people. I pray that they come to know you as their strength and their Father, and in a real way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So I hope that helps somebody. And I don't know, I don't tell many people about that, because it's, obviously people have all different thoughts about things. But I just, hearing all the talk of suicide, and especially with young people, and it's just such a concentrated threat on the future. It's who will be here next if not for younger people. So you will be attacked. You will be, you will go through hard things, but just keep in mind always that God, give them a chance. And if you've never prayed before, just like I said, it's just talking like you would to a friend or anybody else. But God has a very real purpose for you, and he would never want any harm to come to you. If any thoughts of harm come to you, that is not from him. That isn't from him. He would never want that for you in your life. He wouldn't want you to harm yourself in dangerous lifestyle choices. He wouldn't want you to harm yourself by cutting yourself. He wouldn't want you to, and if you have done that and you think that you're too far gone and that you can't come back, or you think that, you're worthless, or someone told you you were ugly or stupid or, wrong or immoral or not good enough, that's a lie. That is a lie. And that they don't make that decision. You make that decision. You make that decision. And you have to say, you won't be. I won't be these things that people told me to be, or told me that I am. And when you make the decision to just go ahead and give up, then you're letting them be right. You're letting them win. So just don't do that. Just there's a specific love, a specific purpose to every person's life. Everyone, every person watching this, everybody. There's someone out there that needs you. There's someone out there who needs whatever you have to give, whatever that gift is that's special to you. They need that. So let that even be reason enough just to take the next step forward until you can figure out a better reason to do it. And I promise you, step by step, day by day, doesn't happen at once, but it does get better. And I promise you, I have felt as lost as anybody, and I never feel that way anymore. I feel happy. I feel content. I feel able to be alone. I feel that I'm never alone. because I always have peace, and I always have God, and I always have that peace in my heart. It stays all the time. And even in the bad, terrible times, it's still there. And you know, so I just wish the best for everybody. I hope that somebody needed to hear this, because obviously I didn't come in here and just say it to say to myself, but um, you know, I just know that God has so many great things, so many, and I could never even sit here and say how many great things. Um, but I do know this. I know this one thing I can leave you with: if the devil is right now attacking you, it's because you're his enemy, and it's a good thing to be his enemy. You do have power, and if he wasn't afraid of you, he wouldn't try so hard to silence you. Um, if people have told you that, you know, anything bad about yourself, you're ugly, you're, whatever people have said, not good enough, not worthy, you're, I don't know, whatever anyone has said, God doesn't make anything ugly. He makes each person the exact, because I have a feeling that girls struggle, and I know guys do too, but I think girls, there's so much pressure to be perfect, you know. And it isn't real. It isn't real. There's no perfect. There's no perfect. And, you know, you think about when you look in the mirror, you were made by someone who decided that the world needed your face and you and your personality. He makes no mistakes. He created you the exact way he wanted you. And there's perfection in his plan and his design. So don't you ever think you're ugly. Don't you think that. And if any thoughts come to you to harm yourself or do anything to yourself, that is not ever what he would want. Not ever. So, and if people have told you you're worthless, if a parent has put you down, if a teacher has put you down, if someone has taken advantage of you in a way that they had no right to, those are ways that unfortunately are meant to hurt and diminish and restrain and kill your spirit. But even with those pains, even with those, you know, trials, and they're devastating. They are devastating, but they can make you or they can break you. And for somebody to be able to take from you and break you and get the victory over you would be so sad. So just I don't know. That's it's very, very life is rough sometimes, but it can be good if you have somebody to help you. And God will always want to help you. He's on your side. He loves you. You're his child. As much as you would love your own family, he loves you so much more. And I've felt that, and it is real. And if you feel it, you'll have plenty of reason to live. And you'll know that you are here for a purpose. Someone needs you. Someone right now is going through something, or they will be, where you can help them because you went through it too. And so, you know, just always keep that in your mind. Just always know I can make something of this. And he never ever wastes your pain. I promise you that. He never wastes your pain. He'll always use it for something, um something that can help somebody else. Um but anyway, I love you guys. I hope this helped. And just hang in there. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I really feel that it's someone. and you hang in there, and things are going to be good. And I promise you that. And just hold on, even when it seems crazy to hold on, keep holding on. And that promise is, it's true. And I wish you guys all the love. Keep hanging on to, run to God. When those thoughts come, you go right to your dad. You go right to your dad and let him hold on to you and love you the way a real father should. And a real father is what he is. If you haven't had a real parent, the Bible says he is a father to the fatherless. He makes a son or daughter of the orphan. So you're here, you're his, and just stay with him. If you don't know where to go, stick right beside of him, and he will lead you in your next steps. If you feel these thoughts or this stuff coming on, my suggestion would be to pray. You need to pray because you need someone else's help. So, well, I love you guys, and I hope everybody is just gonna have a wonderful, wonderful future. And I'll talk to you guys later.